Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting tutorial on my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this stylish blouse. I came across it on my Pinterest feed and decided to take you along as I sew and cut mine. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you for sticking around, and if you're an existing subscriber, thank you for the show of love and support. You know what to do if you haven't subscribed. Thank you. Let's dive right in. I'll be working with limited fabric of 1 yard. The width is 1 yard, which is 36 inches, and the length is 60 inches. Now I'm sewing this for a size 12-14. The person's bust is 42 and the waist is 38. The next thing I'll be showing you is how to fold your fabric. I'll be folding the fabric along the length. So I'll fold the length into two. That will give me 30 inches. And then I'll fold it once more, which will give me 15 on both sides. I'm going to take time to show you how to fold your fabric so you can just cut your back and your front piece together. Since I'm not going to be using pattern paper to draft this, I just want to cut everything as one piece. You can see that after folding, I successfully have two sides unfold, and the width of this sides unfold is 15 inches. Because of the nature of this fabric I'm working with, while I fold, I have to take out time to ensure that each piece of the fabric is equal, and I'll safely secure that with a pin. I'll go ahead to take my measurement along the width. As you can see, the 15 inches width. The bust divided by 4 is 11. The shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll come down the shoulder slope. I'm doing this at the edge of my fabric because I'll be cutting the sleeves together with the shoulder. At the edge of my fabric, I came down 1 inch and I connected to the folded edge of my fabric, and I just connected it with a straight ruler. From the top of my fabric, I'll be marking the bust point length, the under bust length, and the waist length. Bust length of 11 inches, under bust length of 15 inches, and the waist length of 18 inches. But I'll be adding ½ inch to this measurement because of my shoulder joining at the top. But you can decide to just take out your ½ inch at the top and start your measurement from the ½ inch. I'm working with a blouse length of 28 inches because I want it to be really long. So I'll create a horizontal line for each of these lines I've marked out, and I'll cut out this length of the blouse. Remember, I said the nature of this fabric is very uneven, so after doing that I have to check that all the sides are even from top to bottom. I'll further go up to cut my shoulder slope. Next is to get my neck width and neck depth. For the front, I will be working with a neck depth of 5 inches plus ½ inch for my shoulder joining, so that's 5.5. The neck width is 5 inches as well. It's a wide neck I'm working with. Remember, our shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5, meaning we are left with about 7 inches for our sleeves. And this is because I'm cutting it together with the top. From the bust line, I'll go up 2 inches to get my chest line or armhole line. From this armhole line now, I'll connect from the sleeve width of around 9 inches, what you can see on screen now. So by the time I take out ½ inch on the top and at the bottom, I'll be left with around 7.5 inch width. I'll connect it from that chest line to my bust line. I would go ahead to get my bust measurement divided by 4. Since it's a free blouse, I won't be taking any waist measurement. From the bust measurement, I will connect it in the form of an A shape to the length of the blouse with a straight ruler. So I'll connect the sleeve on the chest line to the bust line with a slight curve like this. For the front neckline, I'm working with a slightly curved V neckline. I'll use my pattern master to just create the stylish curve. And for the back neckline, I'll be working with a slightly curved back neckline. The back neckline has a depth of 1 inch. Because I'll be joining the shoulder allowance, I'll be adding ½ inch. I'll cut my back neckline first. When I'm done, I'll separate the pieces together and cut out my front neckline separately because I'm working with a different style line for the front neckline. Next is to cut out the bodice measurement on the blouse. After that, I will go on to notch the bust line, the under bust line, and the waistline. Because of the nature of this fabric, I don't want to make mistakes while sewing the pieces together. After separating the front piece from the back piece, because we cut them together, remember, this is what the back piece looks like, and this is what the front piece looks like when I open it. Next thing is to show you how to create the design that the front is going to have. So if you remember, after cutting, I told you to notch your bust point, your under bust point, and your waistline. On the right side of our fabric now, we'll be connecting these edges to with a straight line. I'll mark my bust line on the front part of my fabric. I'll mark my under bust line, and I'll repeat the same thing for my waistline. If you're not sure of what you are doing, you can simply take the measurement again from the shoulder line. From top of the shoulder, you just add your half an inch sewing allowance to your length measurement. So you just add your 11.5 inches, your 15.5 inches, and then you connect with a straight ruler. The next thing I'll do is to get the center front line on my pattern. For ease, you can just fold your front pattern into two and iron it and get a straight line, but I'll be doing that by measuring and getting the midpoint manually, making sure my line crosses the bust line, the under bust line, and the waistline. On my under bust line, which is the middle line, I'll go up 1 inch. From the side front on my waistline, I would connect with a slight curve to the 1 inch on my under bust line on the center front. I'll connect with a curve. As you can see, I'm using my pattern master, but if you don't have this, you can just freehand it. By the time you are done doing that, it should look something like this. You repeat the same thing for the second side front of your pattern. You connect from the waistline on your side front to the 1 inch on your under bust line, the 1 inch you came up on the under bust line on your center front. This line is going to have a channel, so we'll be able to tie a rope at the center front to give the blouse more fit. What I'm doing now is measuring the length of the channel. I'll add 1 inch to that measurement, so before cutting on my leftover fabric, I would go and take the measurement and cut for both sides. I'll be working with a width of 1.25 inch. You can also simply use a bias tape if you have one. Here I'm just showing you what it will look like when you are done sewing. So you just sew around this edge of around 1/4 inch, and then when you get to the center front, I'll be showing you what to do. I'll be using a rope length of 2 times this measurement. So I have 27 times 2 is 54, so I'll just round it up to 60 inches. So the length of the rope will be 60 inches, 30 on both sides. Here I want to cut the rope that will be passing through the channel. I'll be cutting 1 inch and I'll be turning. If you have a bias, you can also use a bias, as it will make your work easier. Since I have additional fabric remaining, I will be attaching it to the bottom of the sleeve to add more length to the sleeve. I will just gather the edge of the sleeve and then attach it to the job. I'll be doing that after I've joined the front and the back shoulder piece together. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now and get back. This is what it looks like after joining the front and back shoulder together and pressing it properly, both inside and outside. If you have an overlocker, you should also overlock the allowance at this point. I've also sewn one of the rope channels. I'll be showing you another method. So as you can see with this method, I took the edge of the channel we took initially, and then I sewed around the chalk edge, and then I folded it and stop stitched. Then for this second method, I'll be showing you how to pass in the rope in this channel before you sew it. If you notice, the first channel casing we just finished, there was no rope inside. For this second one, I'll be showing you how to do it with a rope inside before you fold the edge. So this is my rope of 1 inch. Remember, I measured 1 inch and I've gone ahead to turn it, and I'll be passing it into this before I fold the edge like I just showed you. I'll also be showing you how to finish off the channel casing. All you have to do is just watch closely and do what I am doing. Here I have with me the two ropes I'll pass into the two casings I have created. For the first casing, you can see that I have already sewn both top and bottom, so I'll be using a safety pin to pass it through this channel, this casing channel. and I'll pass it from the side front towards the center front. For the second one, I'll be putting it into the channel casing before I sew the top part of the channel casing. To do that, just watch closely what I will do. I would attach the loose side. This is the closed side of my channel casing, so this will be at the center front. Then the open side of my rope is going to be at the side front of my channel casing. I would put it into my channel casing and secure it with a safety pin. I'll take it to my machine and stitch the side front edge so it does not come off before I start to sew the top part of my channel casing. So I'll go to my machine, fold the top part of my channel casing, and I will lock the center front the way I showed you earlier. I'll also be attaching this into the channel casing that I have first created, and then I'll come back. I'm done attaching the ropes into the channel casings for both sides of my dress. I would also go ahead to tie a knot on this rope so it does not get lost into the channel casing, although this is very unlikely, but it will also give a really fancy style. Before I forget, you also have to make sure that when you're making your rope that it has to be longer than the width of your waist. For the excess fabric we had left, I've gone ahead to do the gathers and attach it to the sleeves. This is what the blouse looks like for now. Next step is to go and join the sides together. To join the sides together, I'll take the hem of the side piece and the hem of the front piece and join them together with a pin, hold them together with a pin. Remember, while we were cutting, I said we should notch the bust line, the waistline under bust line. This will also guide us as we're going to the sewing machine. So when I was cutting, I added an allowance of 1 inch. I'll be going in with that 1 inch and joining my sides together. In your case, remember to join the sides with whatever allowance you used while cutting. So if you used half an inch while cutting, you join your sides with half an inch allowance, and then you proceed to use an overlocker to lock the seam allowance. This is a rough idea of what the top is going to look like when you pull the rope together. If you've gotten to this point of this tutorial and you have not yet clicked the subscribe button, kindly do so now, and also turn on your post notifications so you are notified whenever I post a new video. The final step left is to finish off this neckline. If you choose to use a facing, that is fine, but in my case I'll be piping the neckline. If you have a bias tape, you can also do that as well, but I cut my own fabric 1 inch and I will be piping it with the fabric. After doing that, you go ahead to press the neckline properly, and this is what your blouse should look like when you are done. For the hem, you can decide to use an overlocker, or you can go in and fold your hem. And for the sleeves as well, you can decide to use an overlocker or fold it in as well, or even use a bias tape. And with that, we have come to the end of this lovely and simple tutorial. See you on another tutorial. Bye bye.